Welcome to Come Forever number 2. I'm your host, Echo Fang Grey Wolf. So, if you watch my prep show, I'm totally going to butcher the title of this, but it's Preferences and or versus fetishism. Fetishes, damn it. Just call it fetishes. Fetishes. Alright, so let's chat. I'm probably going to offend people, so I will open this up with an apology. Alright, so this came off of TikTok, and I don't feel like combing through TikTok to find the videos, but I want to make sure everyone is on equal ground and standing ground. So, as you guys know, I'm multicultural, multiracial, multi-ethnic, whatever the fuck you choose to call me. I am part native, I am part black, I am part white. Alright? So, I'm a triple threat. I can walk in 3 worlds, or at least 2 worlds, the worlds of colored people. And I want to make sure that I do not offend you purposefully. So if I do, before I begin, you will know that I'm owning it and that I apologize. And this is probably going to be at least a 2-part video. I may switch locations. I'm only here because it's quiet. Or as quiet as it can get in a normal day. It's also Monday. It's also Halloween. So I'm probably going to either be Scarlet Spider, or I'm either going to be Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. So we'll find out when it gets a little darker. Anyway, that being said, I want to talk about preferences and fetishes, alright? And how I may be guilty of both. But before we get deep in the guts of this conversation, because I don't know if I'm guilty of both, which I probably am, so we're going to own that. But I'm going to tell you how I got there. So that way, if I am guilty of both, I will have a logical or a legal reason for being guilty of both. Hopefully, I worded that right this time around, because Ronan's not here to screw up the video. Alright, you'll have to watch the prep shows so you can see, in the blooper, so that you can see Ronan. It happens before the martial art video while I'm out here. Anyway, so, as a young child, as a young mixed child growing up, I only wanted to be black. Like literally, I tried to date girls darker than me. I tried to date the hot red bone girls, all that shit. None of that shit was happening. None of it. They weren't having it. I had a couple of girlfriends that was black. Only one really was okay with being my girlfriend. The other ones, not so much. Alright? And I will leave names off for their protection. But there were 2 girls who were as light as me. But they were black girls. At least they claimed they were all black. And I've mentioned these young ladies before. Miss Williams, no relation, and Miss Turner. Miss Williams and Miss Turner were the 2 main antagonists of why I kind of felt out of place dating, or, puppy love in grade school, black girls. Because they were the 2 antagonists, or anti-nice to me girls, who, if I'd have been a girl, we would have had fisticuffs. But, no, I'm a boy. And they just did not want me, no matter what I tried to do to get their attention. You're not black enough for us. So I dated a darker girl. We're leaving her name out because she's kin to one of my cousins on their mama's side, but she's not kin to me. And she was a nuisance. Purposefully so. But instead of just telling me she didn't want me, she just did everything she could to make me jealous. This is why I don't do jealousy as a grown person, because I done been through so much shit about jealousy as a child that I have learned that jealousy destroys things. A lot of things. Especially relationships. So I don't do jealousy. I do trust. And you're not cheating until I catch you cheating. But that'll be later down the road as this video goes on. With black girls. I didn't start dating white girls until middle school, high school. Alright, I'm gonna get there. So, in grade school, I only chased black girls. And everyone except for the 2 that gave me a chance, because the one that gave me a chance that was a nuisance, he was just trying to make me jealous of everything. And I guess the girls must have guided her, you can't date the half-breed, you can't date the zebra, you can't date the half-white boy. He's not ever gonna be one of us. Let me explain you how far I went to be black. I went on a cussing tangent. I still can't break that habit of swearing right now, but I swore every time there was no teachers around, I cussed up a megastorm. and those black girls still didn't like me. All right. Now the one black girl that did like me when we got together, I believe we were in second grade, and eventually she moved away. So that did nothing, which is how I wound up with the dark girl who was just being a nuisance and doing stuff to piss me off, letting everybody see her underwear, all kinds of other stuff, and she's with my girlfriend. Yeah, that was working out real well, but it wasn't. And so, as I sorry, I don't know what the hell that white thing is, but as I got older, you know, I still just tried to mess with black girls. You know, there were a lot of beautiful white girls. I had some white girls that were friends, and they stayed in the friend zone only because I was afraid to ask them out, and also because I'm colored and they're not, and I figured that they would never say yes. So that would change later, way later. But while in grade school and middle school, no, it was only black girls. You couldn't tell me not to date black girls. All I would date were black girls. Or let me rephrase that. All I would attempt to do is date black girls. So in grade school, I had a summer break, and I gave y'all no name, just know her last name was Smith. And Miss Smith and I, we were going together. We were like 12, and Miss Smith was apparently a little bit faster than me. I didn't know that because here's the thing about people of color, especially Generation X. We discover stuff the hard way. I am a 3 times graduate of the School of Hard Knocks, all right? So, sadly, I will openly confess that I lost my virginity at the age of 10. It wasn't a choice. I didn't know what I was doing, but the 12-year-old girl apparently lost her virginity when she was 10, and she took mine in a closet on an orange trunk. I believe she's deceased now, so we're definitely leaving names off. Worse than that, my 2 younger siblings witnessed that shit. So then they told on me. And I also thought that my pecker was broke for like days because it never would lose the erection. So I had to try to push and hold down. So, because I mean, it stayed up, yo. It just would not go away. I'm not ashamed. I'm just laughing because it's funny as hell now on seeing 10-year-old me sitting in class trying to do stuff to make sure that the teacher didn't know. Because, I mean, my shit stayed up for about 2 weeks. Even after I peed. It just would not go down. So something was definitely wrong. But it was more or less physical, not mental. And I didn't want to tell my mom. I walked around with a boner for like 2 fucking weeks. You know? If it had an inkling of going down, it would not go down. I was like, oh, it's going to go down. It's going to go. Doop, it shot right back up. I was like, oh my fucking God, what do I do? And I didn't know what to do. And I didn't know who to tell anybody. So I just kept it to myself. I made sure that I tried to push it down. Like when I got up in the morning, I push it down. And it wasn't like a piss hard. You know, it's just, motherfucker just stayed fucking hard. It's like, oh my God, what the fuck, yo? So after it finally fixed itself, you know, I didn't have this problem anymore. I had wet dreams, but I know this is totally irrelevant. But the point is that the girl was 12 and I was 12, and I already knew how to have sex. I didn't know if she knew how to have sex, and I wasn't going to rush her because my parents raised me right. You let the girl decide when you're going to be able to get on top of and insert yourself into her. And that was what I was planning on doing. I wasn't going to rush this girl because I really liked her. So I wanted her to make sure that that's what she wanted. First and foremost, if you're 12 years old, you have no business having sex in the first place. Play G.I. Joe. Play video games. Play Barbie. My dumb ass got lured into a trap, and then I lost my virginity, and then my shit just would not fucking stop. So that killed that. But by the time I was 12, I realized what was going on. I then had sex education. You know, I knew that, you know, as far as I knew, if you're 12 and she's 12, you shouldn't be able to get each other pregnant. That is not always the case. So I wanted to take my time, and then, you know, at 12 years old, you don't really, like, bust, and you don't really fucking, it's a chance you can still get somebody pregnant, but you don't really, you know, you don't know what the fucking orgasm and shit is. But apparently the girl in which I speak didn't want to wait for me. So she got a new boyfriend, and she brought him onto my porch. And then he got on the James Williams Express, where he took the Echo train off my porch. He missed the first step. Let's just put it that way. He got boots to ass and skinned up his chin. And when my dad came back with the donuts, they were gone. He's like, what's going on? I said, oh, her cousin, it was a lie. It's her new boyfriend. And then I proceeded to try to smash her up all the time. Not physically, because I told her, I said, if he ever comes to this block while I'm still here during the summertime, I'm going to beat his ass. Every day I see him, I'm going to beat his ass. She had a spree. She drove to his block. I tried to make her crash into trees every fucking morning. I figured if she crashed a tree and fucked up her face, he wouldn't like her anymore, and then she'd come crawling back to me. I know, that was evil as fuck, but hey, you're 12 years old. What do you think? I couldn't take that shit, but I outgrew it. About 2 years later, the last black girl I ever dated, I already tell you this story, so we're going to give you the clip notes. She was 14, I was 14, she had a 23-year-old boyfriend, who obviously was waxing that ass because all I could do was touch her boobs. Never got to really do anything because one day, Junior rolls up on me at a fucking 10-speed. Well, I have my BMX. It's still back there. And he pulls a gun out on me. A literal fucking gun. That was the last black girl I ever dated. Period. I look at black women and they're very beautiful, but if you think I'm going to date them, the answer is fuck no. Now, let's get on with fetishing or preference. This is why I lost my preference for black chicks. Alright? Now, don't think that all black women are that way, because that is not what the fuck I'm saying. But let's just say that childhood trauma has kept me from even pursuing black women in the remotest way. Alright? As I got through school, even when I talked to black girls, they still didn't acknowledge that I was part black. They just, you're a half-breed. We don't really like talking to you. And so I started talking to white girls. In the 9th grade and the 8th grade, I started talking to white girls. Wow, they liked me. They talked back. Where black girls would always give me the finger. You're not cute. You're not black. We don't want anybody who's not black. You're like half black, but you don't look as black as the other black kids, so we don't want to deal with you. Now that will do something to you as a child. When people who look like you are telling you, you ain't one of us, you ain't shit, we don't want you anywhere near us, don't touch us, don't talk to us, don't sit at our table. I got all that shit. So those same black girls gave me problems later in life, and girls just like them when I started talking with white girls, and white girls started acknowledging that I exist and started wanting to be my girlfriends versus just my friends. Now, if I have to have preferences, I'm going to say my preferences are Asian women, Spanish women, white women. But those are my preferences. But you could also say some of them are my fetishes. And I say this willingly because I am no longer sure. And let me break that down for y'all in case you don't understand. Alright? I will always love Asian women. I think they are the most beautiful women in the world. Period. I don't think that any other woman is less beautiful. It's just that I'm more attracted to Asian women. Now, I don't know if it's fetishing. You see where we're going here. I do not know if it's fetishing. I do know that I am highly attracted to Asian women. Alright? So hopefully that solves some of that, but it might not. So we're going to go into more things, which is why I'm probably guilty of both. My ex was Korean. She was raised by white people, so technically you can say I'm more Asian than she is. I did try to pursue Spanish girls. They sometimes liked me, but the ones that liked me either had children or had boyfriends or both. I am not a homewrecker, so that's a big fat negative. Most of the white girls I had, we were generally friends with benefits because I had a bad experience with a white girl who has the same name or the same first name as another white girl that stabbed me in the back with a pencil in grade school. It turned my white Spider-Man suit completely red while the teacher did nothing. Because why do kids just crawl around on the floor trying to get a fucking pencil out their bag? But the teacher never noticed. Anyway, her last name was Coleman. The one that gave me the really bad experience that I was dating, her last name was Bach. And the last name we will not reveal because of legal issues. But All of their first name starts with an A and ends with a Y. Really short, 3 letters. Y'all can figure it out. But anyway, the bottom line is, Miss Bach and I were connected by my bro and his girl. We're leaving their names out for their protection because my bro is married and I don't know his ex-girlfriend situation, so I'm not bringing up any names, alright? Mostly I do that out of respect. So anyway, me and Miss Bach had a kissing session in Hollymead at the playground. And then we had, because I'm not a partier, we had like a kissing section at TJ's. It was a club back that kids used to go to way back in the day. If you're in Virginia, you know exactly what the fuck TJ's is. If you are a Generation Xer, you have been to TJ's at least once. At least once. But she went to Albemarle or Western Albemarle, and I went to CHS. My bro's girl went to Albemarle or Western Albemarle, and he went to CHS. So when they got together on weekends, it wound up always being a double date because his girl couldn't go anywhere unless her friend was there because there was some racial issues. And so his girl lied and always said she was with the other white girl versus saying that she was with the mixed kid. Alright? And the other thing, I think they really, well, his girl and him loved each other. But I think the girl I was with only dated me because her friend coerced her into it and thinking that dating black people probably would only piss off her parent. But since I'm only half black, it probably wouldn't be that bad. And this is where shit gets fucked up. This is one of the last times I messed with a white girl. So, I was at work at Kegler's. Just barely had the job a year. And she broke up with me the night before over the phone. But she didn't break up with me the night before because my ass is at work. So I don't know who she broke up with, but it wasn't me. So, I go to work one day. And I don't care who you are. If you're a man and you've kissed a girl at least once or twice, you remember what she smells like. You remember what she looks like. Unless it's like a one-night stand and you hit it from the back. Alright? Well, we didn't get to hit anything because all we did was kiss. But I was in love with her. She was not in love with me. And this is how, when you fall in love with girls, goes completely wrong. So apparently she broke up the night before and brought her brand new boyfriend to my job. Now that's what you call some bullshit right there. She literally brought her brand new boyfriend to my job after breaking up with me the night before on the phone, which was a problem because I didn't get out of work until 12 o'clock. So whoever she called at 10 o'clock. Because she informed me that she called at 10 o'clock and broke up with me. I said, well, you didn't call me because I was at Kegler's until fucking midnight. So, the first times, this is like before the discussion that my bosses would let me out. So she walked past, right? She walked past again. She walked past one more time, and I'm screaming her fucking name. And she looked at me. I'm like, what are you doing here? We supposed to go on a date later tonight because I worked it out so that I didn't have to work that night. Well, that plan went up in smoke because she was on this date with this dude. So, this dude and her decided to come to my job. Of all places to bring your new boyfriend. So this is twice this has happened in my lifetime, by the way. One by one black girl, one by one white girl. So, yeah. So, you can't make this shit up, yo. So, I'm laughing now, but I'm secretly hurting inside. But, so I'm looking at her, and I'm like, yo, what the hell you doing? And then her new boyfriend comes up, grabs his hand around her, kisses her right in front of me, but he kisses on the forehead. I'm like, what you doing with my girl, dude? He's like, this ain't your girl, this is my girl. It's like, me and her been dating for like 5 months. It's like, well, me and her been dating for about 3 to 5 months. And I was like, oh, you're fucking dead, buddy. Now, the thing between me is the dish rack and the counter, and it had a little hole in there, but I'm dumb because I'm blinded by anger at the moment. And we have a cook. Shout out to Daryl. Also, shout out to Pete, shout out to James, and shout out to Frank Stoner, my boss. Because I was about to kill this dude. And he was bigger than me. He's like maybe 6 foot tall, but he was skinny as a fucking stick. And I'm more built than him, but I'm short and stocky. So, I went and, let me close this damn thing out. So, I went after his ass. Yeah, but instead of sliding under the thing, because I was right there, I should have just slid under the damn thing and did some matrix shit. Nah. My dumb ass wanted to go through the fucking door. That's where I fucked up. If I had just slid under the dish rack, because we usually put the food order on that thing, and it's like there's nothing there at the bottom. It's just like a fucking shelf. If I had slid under there, I could have leaped over the counter and got him. My dumb ass wasn't thinking. 17-year-old brains don't always function like they should. You know, I was like totally blinded by rage. So Daryl got in the way, and I juked him, and I got past the deep fryer because I'm stupid. I should have just backed up and slid under the damn thing, but nah, I football juked him, and he started hollering, "Hey, hey, hey, hey!" So our manager, James Walker, he comes through the front door, just at the bar where they are, you know, so that they are safe. All right. So about that time, there's double doors on the back where I wash dishes at. I'm making a beeline for that fucking door. So as I come through the door, or get toward the door rather, my boss, good old Frank Stoner, because there's two doors. There's an entry and an exit. You bring the dishes in one door, you take the dishes and the food out the other. I was coming toward the exit door, and he slid in there and blocked me. He's like, "You ain't going over it, kid." I saw the outside exit. Fuck you, Pete. Pete's the fourth guy. I love you, Pete. But at the time, fuck you, Pete. So Pete comes into that door, and Frank's like, "Don't let him out. Don't let him out. He's trying to go beat up that dude that's with his ex-girlfriend." So she's not my ex-girlfriend. She's my girlfriend. Dude, if she's with somebody else, that's your ex-girlfriend. Those were not the words that they used. They used not so polite word that starts with a B and rhymes with itch. So yeah. So now I'm mad because I can't get out the kitchen. And so they calm me down a little bit. And then this is where that proverbial political job slap in the face happens. Guess who doesn't get to have their free meal tonight? That was me! Guess who got to have my free meal? Her and her boyfriend. They got a plate full of nachos with bacon and olives, cheese, and some other stuff on it, and they got sauce. And that shit came out of my check. And I was mad as piss fire. Because Frank and them wouldn't let me leave until after they left the entire bowling alley. So they had to keep tabs on me, and I couldn't get out of the kitchen. They refused to let me out that kitchen. They took shifts cooking, and then if they had to go handle some shit, like they're on people with main cooks, so they took like back and forth dealing with their specialties. But then they had somebody else come in to make sure I didn't go out. And I was like, dude, the only thing they didn't do was tie me down, which they probably should have done. So then they're leaving, and Frank and them pretty much escorted them to their vehicle, and they left and they drove off. And I was mad as a motherfucker. So again, not sure if I was guilty of fetishing or preferences. Now, this did not deter me from white women, because there was no gun involved aimed at my fucking head. Alright? Not like with black women, where the black dude was gonna fucking shoot me for some ass that I ain't even got yet. Now, I decide from now on, I'm going after Asian women, or white women who don't have boyfriends, or Spanish women, and mixed girls who are either mixed with black and whatever else they're mixed with, because we share that same racial dynamic. Then, I had some decent experiences with porn. So then I really started liking Asian women, and we owe all that to Charmaine Starr, Asia Carrere, and Micah, and Lily Ty. Prior to that, you know, I didn't really watch porn because I had a bad porn experience when I like turned 20 something. Somebody lent me some porn that was like fucked up. And after porn got on the internet, I had a worse porn experience, so I started watching that shit. And you know, every time I met an Asian girl, I always would speak to them, and they would always speak to me. I would never ask them out because I was always told that Asian girls did not like black guys or mixed guys, and they would always say no. So up until my Korean girlfriend, I believed it. But the main reason why I didn't believe it because sometimes at the university I met some beautiful Asian girls, and the only thing that kept them from dating me was that they had boyfriends. So I met two Hannahs, one at PVCC. She had a boyfriend. Her brother was pimping her new. Her brother obviously did not like her boyfriend. And I guess I'm a lot closer to Filipino looking than the jerk she was with. The other Hannah is a school teacher somewhere. I really liked her. But she had a boyfriend. And then there was a lady who was really beautiful, who was Asian, who looked like Kelly Hu, but it wasn't Kelly Hu, but she was from California. And God, she was beautiful. So I was like, okay. So I was really attracted to her, but she had a boyfriend. I also owe my cousin Emmett the biggest kick for pushing me towards them because I've always was more afraid to date Asian women versus dating them. Because like, she's not gonna give me the time of day. She's Asian. I'm not Asian, so it's not like it's gonna work. She's probably gonna laugh in my face. But each girl that I told him about, he pushed me towards them. And shout out to Emmett, by the way. I know you don't watch my shit, but anyway, shout out to Emmett. So, every one that I fucking found the courage to ask out, unfortunately, my timing was bad. And then there was this one beautiful girl. Her name was Tate. I don't know where you are, Tate, but thank you for giving me courage to actually date Asian women. So, I never called Tate because Tate was drop dead gorgeous. And I'm not. And Tate, I don't know where you are. I hope you are happy. I hope you are great. I carried Tate's bags because she was graduating from the University of Virginia and I was working, but I was a student at PVCC. So I literally carried Tate's bags to wherever she was going because the bag was too heavy for her. So I literally picked the bag up. I don't know Tate's last name. I just know she spelled it T-A-Y-T. Alright? So I carried Tate's bags from where my job is, where I saw her struggling, to wherever the hell I had to take them to. I took them. We walked quite far from my job. So when I got back to my job, my boss Kathy was like, "Where'd you go?" I said, "I had to help a university student." She's like, "Why?" I said, "Because she couldn't carry her bag. And her bag was like fucking this big." So I put her bag on my back, and we walked and talked, and she gave me her number. But I was too much of a fucking coward to call her. So, Tate, wherever you are, thank you. Thank you. I've learned to stop being a coward now. I'm still a little shy, but I'm not so much of a coward. And I would have called you. I swear to God I would have called you, but I was scared that you would say no because I was ugly and you were drop dead gorgeous. I actually still have her number somewhere. I never got rid of it. I'm not going to call it because that was like years ago. It was like when cell phones first came out, and I was like, I'm not calling this girl. She probably just gave me somebody else's number so I could call and make a fool out of myself. But if the number was real, Tate, it's on me that I didn't call you, and I'm sorry. I am truly, honestly to God, sorry. That could have been the girl that I probably could have married. So also, I worked with an Asian woman named Han. Hello, Han, you beautiful thing. Han did not like me, like at all, because I apparently know more about her culture because she's Chinese than she did, you know. But I only knew like certain things about her culture because I do kung fu. And so, as a martial artist, you know, I really liked Han. I didn't flirt with Han because Han was like beautiful, even with her glasses on, but she didn't have a lot of life experience, you know. So she didn't know if somebody generally liked her or whatever. So she had a discussion. I mean, everybody, because Han wouldn't sit with me. Everybody at the job, this is the only time everybody at my job actually pulled for me because Han didn't like me. And so they would usually sit with Han until the day I asked if I could sit there. And Han's like, no, you can't sit here. And I go sit by myself. And so then after that, everybody started sitting with me when we ate lunch break. And then they said, well, if you can't sit with Han, we're not going to sit with Han. I said, don't do her like that. It's like, why? She's doing you like that. I said, because I'm mixed. I'm used to being rejected by blacks and by whites. Really didn't have any problem with Asians except for Han. She just did not like me. So the thing was, Han was also very young. And like I said, she didn't have a lot of life experience, and she didn't reject me because I'm black. She just didn't like me because I was mixed, and she just didn't understand how the world works because she's been coddled, and some Asians are different than others. Some Asians are just not going to like you. So when they started rejecting me, I started telling them, say, hey, look, if y'all can't sit with Han, don't sit with me. And it's like, but she doesn't want you sitting with her. I said, it's fine. It's fine. I said, for me to show her mercy makes me a better human than her to not show me mercy and allow me to sit there. So within about 4 weeks, that changed. Han didn't have a problem with me sitting and enjoying lunch with her. And Han was very mature after that. And then when we were the last two working, because everybody else had moved on, Han and I were still there until Han moved on, and we ate lunch together. I'm pretty sure Han doesn't remember it, but Han was a very beautiful girl. Very beautiful girl. Her last name starts with a Q. I can never pronounce it. I hope she's doing well. Han Q. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are great. I hope everything in your life is working out better for you than ever before. And thank you. Thank you. Now, like I said, I don't know if I'm fetishing or if it's preference. For me, personally, I believe it's preference. But at the same time, it can still be fetishing. But I don't really know because most of the time, with the exception of a few Asian girls that said they had boyfriends, and I'm not going to call them liars, I know the Hannah from PVCC that when we played tennis together, she literally told me she had a boyfriend. And she kept saying she didn't know why her younger brother kept insisting on me trying to date her. And Asian dudes, man, we get along great. And I guess it's because of Kung Fu, but we get along great. We'll be doing our Kung Fu thing. And Hannah didn't have a problem with it. Joe didn't know Kung Fu, but Quo, hey brother, I know you're out there somewhere. Quo knew martial arts. Me and Quo, we sparred every now and again. When tennis was over, we would take that extra 10 minutes and we would spar. And I got along very well with a lot of Asian people. So again, I may be guilty of fetishizing, but only the women. But I also prefer to only date the women. You see where the confusion is? Now I'm gonna make a part 2 because I'm pretty sure I've hit the 30-minute mark. Yes, I have. I hit the 30-minute mark. So I'm gonna make a part 2, and then I'm going to let you guys be the judge. Thank you for watching. Be seeing you.